Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Daredevil Born Again Reviews, Episode 4. I'm the nose of Hell Kitchen, Travis Snell, and I'm joined by Hell's Kitchen.
I'm his hands, Kirkland Patzer.
Hey, I'm Dylan Muss.
I am just Taylor.
Just Taylor.
Whoa, that's
I
unique.
didn't have time to change it. Forgot what my nickname was going to be.
You were
I was
something
like 8
mine,
minutes
huh?
late. You had tons of time. What are you talking about?
I was making a thumbnail. I was going to do something
Okay.
cookie related, but I was like, what the fuck are the name of those cookies? Can't remember.
Cookie related. Okay, well, we're
Fiddle,
gonna get
fiddle diddles or something like that?
Yes, I think that is a
into
fiddler.
those, right?
Fiddler
Yeah.
diddler.
I don't like hearing fiddler.
That sounds, yeah, diddler.
The
sounds
fiddler,
wrong.
diddler, Taylor.
I don't think it's diddler.
The fiddler, Taylor Field. Yeah, you should have done Adam this week, Taylor, because you did Andy before. You should have done the Adam Taylor Field because that's the right name, right, for the Vanessa Love interest.
Well, that's his both.
That's
his names.
right.
His
Yeah,
family
yeah.
name is Andy.
Adam Andy.
Adam Andy Fiddler.
Adamantium.
It's almost adamantium. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, of course, we do this weekly. We'll be here for every episode. Tons of things you can go check out on the feeds being done. Did a great side quest this week. You got Dylan and Taylor talking about some great news coming up. I already got a full show for you guys. Saw cancellation news, Defender news, some good juicy trailers. So you guys are booked to go. And then on Patreon, lots of stuff. We'll be recording Bread and Butter, which will be Avengers MC related. Not only are we going to make our roster as far as who we think should be on the Avengers and who we'd want. I also got some good comments from the Russos comparing actors to baseball cards, so that's always a good time. So we're going to do that. The Mission Impossible retro just started. The Superman retrospective is exclusive on Patreon. Superman. What else? Fantastic Four is on there. So lots of good stuff. So head over there and support us. We'd very much appreciate that. And you get episodes ad-free. So after this, when we do our non-spoilers breakdown and throw to ads, you'd get nothing. You go right through at 0.5, right into the spoilers. So if you want to do that, we'd very much appreciate it. Cost maybe about, less than a coffee, and you get more content for your bang for your buck. So I'm going to start with Mr. Field, the non-spoilers, because you were not here last week. So you can give maybe a quick, just, elevator pitch, 2 sentences, 3 sentences, a soliloquy of what you
No
thought about
more than
last
3
week.
sentences
No
or
more.
you're kicked out.
Yeah, tell me when the dot happens. But a little thought of what you thought last week, and then what do you think about this week non-spoilers?
Yeah, last week. Yeah, Fisk found me and just kicked the shit out of me.
He
I
fiddled you?
leaked his secrets.
Ben Urich to you.
Yeah.
Ben Urich, yeah.
Talk about Andy.
But yeah, I think last week was it was short, but it was fun, and there was some high octane kind of tense moments in the courtroom and whatnot, and then it just I thought, oh, this is great, we're ending on a high note, and holy fuck, that was definitely a high note for sure, because
You like vigilantes getting killed? That's a high note for you? You're like, yeah, you're Team Fisk, aren't you?
Fisk, I mean, he's mayor for a reason. He's making things happen. No red tape for him. I love it. But no, that caught me off guard. I was really, really rooting for this guy, and he definitely had a shitty hand that was dealt to him. And my God. So I'm excited to kind of see more about this rogue group that they've been showcasing here with these cops. I mean, I feel like any cop that's gonna like turn his head in a courtroom, like in last week's episode, has the big fucking Punisher tattoo on his neck, is like maybe subject for a little bit of like a mental inspection or some kind of psychological test or something like that. But hey, I'm not police chief in Hell's Kitchen, so what do I know?
That's true.
But yeah, it was a good episode. I really did enjoy it. Getting to this week's episode, I think, it's picked up, and I feel like, okay, this is one chapter is kind of closed right now, and now we've stepped into a new one. And while they're definitely gonna keep continuing with certain things and certain narrative components from the previous chapter, I feel like, okay, we're really just putting our toes into a whole new thing, because we've been introduced to a few new storylines here, and they're stepping into some new rooms now, and I'm excited to see where this is going to kind of go. And we're only at episode 4. What was the episode count again?
9.
Is it
So we got 5
9?
more. So we're just about halfway through the season.
And there's a doubler in there too, right? Another doubler
next week. Next week is the double.
There you go.
Okay, yeah, so that'll be cool to see where we're going to kind of go with this. But yeah, hopefully they can kind of just not overwhelm with what they're trying to do, because again, hopefully I'm worried that maybe they might introduce like too much. I just think, okay, let's just what they've got right now, let's keep this going and see where this goes. And yeah, I guess that's all I can really say without spoiling any of the fiddle diddles. So
Fiddle diddles, yeah. Coming to a bakery near you. Dilmas,
Yeah.
does diddle your fiddle this week?
I don't want to continue this diddle fiddle thing. I'm just gonna move past that. Yeah, I think that this episode kind of is maybe the first episode here where I'm kind of just coasting off where I've been the last few episodes, which is good. I'm really enjoying the show so far. I think it kind of just continues to be that the Fisk Mayor storyline I'm not finding super gripping. Like we got a few because last week was a very centered episode on like kind of this one storyline and a couple other small things. Whereas this one was like, okay, we're visiting every character. Everyone gets a little bit of something to do, and we did get a decent amount of the Fisk Mayor sort of things. And I'm just not loving it. Maybe it's like the dweeby sidekick guy that I'm not into, or maybe it's just the general trajectory, or it just doesn't feel. There's nothing about it that's like particularly gripping for me, and it feels maybe a little disconnected from the other parts of the show at this point in time. So that still is kind of like maybe the weak spot for me. But otherwise, I really enjoyed what we got here. Some good Fisk, Vanessa stuff. There's a lot that happens in this episode, but there's two scenes in particular that were like really, really great, really, really fun scenes. Some teasing at some stuff that I don't know what the heck is going on there, and. There's a guy in the thumbnail. Maybe I won't say what's going on there. I guess for non-spoiler stuff. But I quite enjoyed the episode. I had a good time with it, and yeah, it felt a little more meaty than last week's episode. Even though last week's was good, it was just a little more centered. But excited for this doubler next week. I think we'll get a lot of progress in a lot of these storylines.
Mm-hmm. The only reason I gave clearance on the thumbnails because Disney Plus had that character on the thumbnail.
Travis
so
insisted.
I was like, okay, you can, when you open up Disney Plus, he's there something. All right, you can show Iron Man. It's okay.
And I, as you guys know, I got home kind of late. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna miss this, but I saw that thumbnail. I'm like, okay, I gotta boss this episode. I gotta be on this episode.
yeah. Mr. Pats or
Mr. Me. Yeah, I think this.
I feel like you say that like half the time.
100%. There's
just
a
noticing
50%
that now.
yeah.
I've never thought about it until
decade.
this moment, but Mr. B.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Me. I feel like this episode was a little bit of a dip down for me off of last week, but not really significant. I think there's some things in here where I was really just questioning why we were spending time on it. Like it's just like, man, 9 episodes. Like we're really focusing on this here. Like I don't know. It just seemed like it's almost like a filler episode at portions of it. However, some saucy things go on in the back half, and I was juicing up on it. And even in the moment when we're maybe having certain scenes with Matt and whoever, it felt a little bit sidetracky, a little bit side questy, but I was still loving what was going on. Like I think Charlie Cox is just still so fantastic in this lawyery type role. I was just having maybe a hard time seeing the connection to like what the focus of a certain case is to like just the overall storyline, and then I don't know, so some things come out of it, but so for the most part still positive, but I think just a little bit of a step down from last week. However, I kind of forgot that next week was a doubler, and that gets me really excited just with how we leave off here. And it's gonna be bloody. I would expect in the next 2 episodes here. And the Fisk stuff, I don't know. I don't know. Well, maybe I'll save it for the spoilers because I kind of want to just unravel all my thoughts at once. But maybe mostly negative, I would say, on Fisk right now in this show. And I'll leave it at there. But still enjoying it overall. Still hopeful for next week. But I will say I feel like where I'm feeling right now, I don't think this show is like a safe pass for me. Like I definitely could see them fumbling this hard near the end of the season.
Wow.
It is a 2-seasoner, so like maybe I should hold out hope, but I think just I don't know, just
That sounds like a big potential decline from last week. Last week you were loving the show, so the fact that you could potentially still
last week
fail
was
the
my
show,
favorite episode. It was
That's
just
kinda
like
scary.
what we got this week. I felt like a major drop off until some things happened, but still it wasn't enough to really. Yeah, I don't know. I'm speaking in riddles on myself here. I just want to save it for spoilers, but
Okay.
yeah, it's like a limp thumbs up right now. I guess I'll give it.
The classic. Is that the episode or the whole show right now is the limp thumbs up?
Whole show right now. Whole show.
Okay,
Yeah. It's a
wow.
flaccid
It's a
thumb
limp.
in the
Yeah.
up direction.
Well, that's good to know.
Great rating
Flaccid
system.
Kirkland.
I like that more than the
Flaccid
number system. That's good to me.
Yeah.
How erect or
Where-
flaccid is your thumb?
Yeah. Where are you on the
And how
hard
many
scale?
thumbs?
I'm flaccid. I'm a cold winter's day on this one, boys. No, it's funny, this review series, because last week Kirkland and Dylan were much higher on it, and then I feel like this week sounds like it's a little ho-hum, or this is good, this is bad, etc. For me, this is like easily the best episode of the season, like clears the rest of them by far. Yes, there is a character that I absolutely love that they nailed, so there could be some of that. But I think in general, I'm excited to talk about the Fist stuff because I feel like that was, we've talked about the past 3 weeks, so like, okay, which way are they going with this? What's the motivation here? And I think they fully showed their hand of like, okay, not in a bad way, like, this is what the design is, and here we are. And if you question things about him the past few weeks, you were right too, because X, Y, and Z. This I actually think I liked the most. Him and Vanessa at therapy. I don't think I've ever really disliked it. I know lots of people actually do, but I feel like, okay, I like Vanessa, the storyline, I like the character, I like the actress, I like their connection. I'm seeing what we're doing here, and I thought this was the best scene. Charlie Cox, for me, this was like, it's tough because that foggy death scene in the first episode, that was some great acting, but that didn't bring me to tears. I teared up in this episode because of Charlie Cox.
Ooh.
Also because another person as well, but man, did he bring it. And I'm excited to talk about the connections because I feel like for me it was like a perfect line of what's going on, other than maybe one story, but there's something that I can maybe reveal there too. So for me, it was all clicking. This was the first time I felt like, okay, each episode I've loved some things, and really maybe not each episode. Last week I really disliked that one, but this week gave me a lot more hope than I ever had, because episode 1 was that weird, okay, it's Netflix Disney Plus combo. This episode 2 was, all right, we're kind of still getting in the swing of things. And little stuff like, I think we had talked about this, I don't mind spoiling this little aspect, where with Karen and Foggy being gone one way or another, I didn't like the new lawyer and the new cop being a part of the episode. I very much appreciate in this episode that lawyer friend or whoever Matt works with called them once, had a conversation, and that was it for her. That's exactly what I want. No disrespect to the actors, and we didn't even see the cop character. Like, that's what I want. I'm completely fine with with Foggy and Karen being gone. If their roles, they have some, oh, this guy's gonna get a scene episode, this guy's gonna get a scene episode, that's it. Like, this is what I need. Focus on Matt, focus on Fisk. I don't need the others. Maybe even BB Urich, sure, but this was like, okay. Where the other weeks, I felt like, man, this was just Karen and Foggy, and you don't have them back. So yeah, all my kind of problems I had were gone. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm completely, I'm on board. I mean, like, I don't think I'm completely like, oh, this show's now going to be leveling Netflix Daredevil. No, because I think there's some storylines I got to see play out, and the other episodes I thought, had some issues, but this one for me was fantastic, and I'm very excited for some things to come up. I think we're going, and I think this delivered a top 3 Netflix Daredevil scene, like including the history, including the other stuff with Jessica Jones. It was up there. I think it even beat the Fisk Diner scene. So I absolutely loved that segment, and I'm very excited to talk about it. So anything else, non-spoilers?
Nada.
All right. So if you haven't seen it, come back. The episode will be waiting for you, because after this break, we're going to break it down. So we'll be right back. And we are back. So we've been tiptoeing around it and everything, right? Let's just talk about it. Andy, no, I'm joking. John Bernthal. Also, we had known before he was back. You should go and read his Entertainment Weekly interview. He did a good interview that just dropped right after this episode. Talked about how they originally pitched him to come back, and then the original show he turned it down because he did not like what they were doing for Frank Castle. And then it led to like new writers, and then they pitched him, and they wanted to see like what did he think, and that's how the special started too, because he like was writing some stuff about the character, and he's like, oh, what if we did this? And I'm very excited. He said he's described the special as Punisher turning his back on the fans. Just like, oh my god, like that special next year is gonna get real fucking gross and dirty. He even said that, like, we're going hard Punishers. Like, I cannot wait. But I think,
what does that mean, turning his back on the fans?
I think in the way kind of like I think lots of people look at Punisher, and I think it's similar to the way the cops are on this, where they glorify Punisher, where it's like, oh, he's a gun-toting badass, right? But it's really like he's a character that suffers from big psychological damage and issues, and he's one of the saddest comic book characters of all time. But I don't think people, when they wear that skull logo, that's not what they represent. They're thinking of like Frank Castle with the skull, and he has a battle van, and he's shooting stuff. Like, I think that's what he means. Like, and he even described the special. He says it's going to be about how psychologically tortured Frank is. So I think that's what he means by back on the fans is people that think like, oh yeah, Punisher, he's a badass. It's like, yeah, but you would never want to be the Punisher, right? It's the same thing. It's not the same level, but you wouldn't want to be Batman because that comes with like childhood trauma and all this stuff, right? So I think that's what he's kind of getting at, and I think that ties into the cop stuff. Kirkland wants his parents dead, so that's fine.
Is
I
that-
don't.
is that-
billionaire
that's what it
playboy
means?
Batman?
I think
Like
okay,
if you want to be Punisher, like you ought, that just means okay, you have to lose the wife and the kid. You can't just like
I think
train
so,
and like
yeah.
just get buffed and like just be a badass and
that's
get the
not
guns.
Punisher
and-
though.
the
That's
cops are
Punisher
doing,
comes
Taylor.
with all the depression and the pain that comes with it. So that's why it's like, okay, yeah, you could be this badass that doesn't die, could win every scenario, but yet Taylor, your entire family has to die in front of you. You know, you want that? You want to be?
Oh
you
no,
want-
I'm not. Kirkland's the one who is.
No,
who
no,
is-
no,
I know.
No, I never said.
You
We're
hear
talking about
that?
Batman, okay?
You hear that, Lynn? You hear that, Lynn? Kirkland will let you get gunned down in an
say my
alley.
mother's name.
He'll let you get gunned down an alley for some money, you know. But
Never
I
said
think
that.
I think this is for people that were around the Netflix era, and it's for Dylan as well. It might be repetitive. I don't know if I had decided or I was always mulling it over, but I can confidently say, like, and maybe this is a cast we should do at some point. My top 3 for combo castings ever is Ledger, Jackman, and it's definitely Bernthal. In this scene, I do not feel like I'm watching John Bernthal. This is Punisher ripped off the fucking page, and he's there. And I sometimes feel that with Charlie Cox and D'Onofrio, but sometimes I always feel like, oh, this is great acting. This just is like, that's not Bernthal. That is Frank Castle, and man, that scene was just 10 out of 10, home run, everything about it. John Bernthal like shows his versatility. It's like at first when they start the scene, he's kind of like mocking him all kind of like a little more comedic. And then he's like getting rageful at him. And he's giving this big speech. And then at the end, he's broken. He's like shattered when Matt talks about how like they can't become decent men. And he just looks like he's lost. Like everything you have to do as an actor, watch this John Bernthal scene. And my God, I have more to say, but just so good to have him back. I was going to wait to watch the show to next year close to special. I'm going to start that rewatch like next week here because fuck, man, he is so good. But he is up there with those greats as far as like best combo casting ever, period.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
Yeah, that's it. I'm done for
Definitely.
tonight. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean I love that scene. It was so good to have him back, and I guess that was like in the trailer or a teaser or something, right? Like just like him stabbing the lock or whatever it is. But I mean it's funny because it's like it is a very emotional scene. But like I was also laughing a little bit just because like him calling him Red and like doing the voice and like stabbing shit. It's just it's like all these things that I feel like we've been memeing on for years of the performance, which is part of the rage of it. But yeah, he is just an insanely good actor. The amount of like depth he has, the amount that like we years ago we talked a lot about like eye acting and like these are the good like
yeah.
Tom Hardy and stuff. But Bernthal, he is so insanely good just with like the little subtleties as well. And I think this is particularly fun because, yeah, especially with Foggy and Karen, I mean, they're here briefly, but now that they're gone, there aren't a lot of people that really know Matt and / Daredevil like on this level. He's getting to know this this therapist lady, and obviously they're kind of dating. He has other friends and people he's connected with, but like, I don't know, Punisher can just like dig way deeper into him and kind of like dismantle his thoughts before he even gets to say them. It's kind of like in the opposite of how Matt, with his kind of extrasensory abilities, is always kind of like a step ahead of other people, reading in their intentions or knowing more about them than they maybe even know about themselves or they wouldn't expect him to know. And Punisher is able to do that just because he's spent so much time with him and he kind of understands the mentality that a lot of this comes with the vigilante lifestyle and all that. And I think it was just so good that he was like kind of coaxing him a little bit, kind of pulling him and pushing him off balance constantly, and in a way that wasn't a fight scene. It was just like purely just, I don't know, a mental fight scene, going at him. And yeah, it was thrilling. The only thing is like I don't know what this means for how much he'll be in the rest of the season. I almost feel like just this one scene is so powerful that it could kick Daredevil into like doing his own thing, and like I don't know how much more Punisher you need to fuel that. Like, I feel like we kind of got that, but I'm curious to see what else he did, because obviously there's the element of him not loving that there's all these people that are kind of doing things under his name, and we'll see what kind of revenge tale he goes on there. But either way, even just like, obviously at the end of the episode, Matt's back on the roof practicing and all that, so it definitely fired him up. So yeah, it was such a great scene, especially after all these years, because now we've had a few weeks of this show being back, but it's still been many years since we've had Punisher back, so feels good to finally have Bernthal here.
He's at least in one more episode, that I know, and I think it's gonna be juicy. It's it's some good stuff. And what I wanted to
thumbnail. It's on Disney already.
yeah, it's on for episode 8.
Him like ripping someone
Yeah.
apart.
And what you said, Dylan, that I want to say before I forget, even Matt hit him, but he didn't hit him back. I thought for sure Frank was going to start throwing fists, but he didn't. Right when Matt apologized, he pulled back. So it's like you could have got like a mini fight scene and done the classic, like, okay, 2 minutes, they square off, then they go back to talking. But I almost liked that better, where that's not what Punisher's looking for out of Matt. He's trying to get him back in, that Halloween costume in a sense, because they're two sides of the same coin. Just the only, like, they pretty much have very similar mindsets. The only difference is Matt does not want to kill people, where Punisher has absolutely, I won't say he has no problem, but he knows that's what needs to be done,
Mm-hmm.
Chills.
I'm glad you hit it. I was gonna hit it, but I ran to. I'm glad you hit it, man.
No, that was pretty much me this entire scene. I completely agree with everything you guys have already brought up. This is I feel like I was just so shocked on like how 10 out of 10 Bernthal was like in this scene. I think Charlie Cox has been fantastic. I had some issues at the start of the show just because I felt like I had just finished the season 3 of Daredevil, jumping right into this show. So like right away, I just noticed like, I don't know, Charlie had like a little bit more wrinkles than maybe he did in that last scene. Like there's just something like a little bit off. Like now, yeah, he's hitting the stride 100% with where he was in that character. But I think for John Bernthal, like it literally feels like he's been plucked out. He got pulled through hell a few times. He's looking terrible. He's all beaten up, dirty. He's got the long hair with the beard. He looks even more jacked than he did like back then. Like he looks so stellar. And then the performance overall was just. Yeah, it was 10 out of 10. I had chills. I won't play the video again, but I like that was me pretty much the whole scene. I 100% thought it was going to be like a hand-to-hand fight scene. Them both get bloody, and then they get like maybe heart to heart. I think it's so much more powerful. You guys already said it, but it's so much more powerful that it wasn't like a fist fight in that sense. It was just like a battle of the speech. And I don't think they could have done that scene like any better. The way that Matt just out of like he was trying so hard to like pull or like not throw punches, but then like he just kept pushing him, and then finally he just like reacted. Pretty fucking solid punch.
Yeah.
And like Frank just barely reacts. He's just such a stone wall of a man. But I think it was so powerful the way that they were both like getting emotional and tearing up at various stages. Just the stuff that they're talking about, the way that they were. Just again, like comparing themselves, of putting them in that category. I loved how Matt said, like, specifically people like us, not just like he's always had an issue with the Punisher's methods because he's straight up killing people. Mm-hmm. All of season 2 is pretty much about that conflict, but still here, like Matt is realizing that, like he's a sinner also. Like he puts him in the same category as Frank. And yeah, I think it was just so great the way that they were talking about like Foggy, Bullseye, all that stuff. It was phenomenal.
Even him going to Frank and almost trying to coax him to go back on the streets is like, sure, Matt's not killing people, but like in a sense, he's pointing the gun. Like he is telling Frank to go out there, and that's why I love Frank calling him out. Like, oh, there's something you want to ask me. Like, there's something you want to do, but you want me to do it. So it's like, and that's why I think it fits so perfectly with Matt training on the roof, because like Frank doesn't give it to him, because Frank could like solve the problem and go take out these cops and kill everybody, which I think he will eventually join up, because like Frank's gonna be looking at that bullet for days, and eventually he's gonna snap like, all right, I'm getting out there. But I think in the meantime, it's like, oh, like that was almost Matt's like last resort. Is like, okay, it's either I suit up or I get Frank, and that's awful, but like I'm just gonna go talk to Frank. And I love how Frank just calls him out and just calls him being pathetic, of like, oh, you just don't have the backbone to do it. And it's just like, oh, and Matt can't really say he's wrong. I don't think Matt's gonna go out killing cops and everything, but that's what he was kind of willing to resort to not put that outfit back on. But didn't work.
I love the way that he calls him out. It's like, I don't think that you actually came here, for this specific reason.
Yeah.
Like it's something else. And just because, they're similar in different ways, like Frank's just able to fully see right through it. And I honestly was expecting it to go way differently. Like I thought when Frank would have caught wind of just like the copycat Punishers out there, he would have gotten a lot more heated. But it's just so much better the way that it played out, because
what's it to
where
me?
it left.
He didn't care. He just brushed it right off.
100%,
Whether he actually doesn't care or he just did that to fuck with Matt, because it's like, I think he does care. He's gonna, like I said, sit and look at that thing. And one thing I did like that they established was, you guys, when you retro the show next year, you'll realize, but anytime Frank has the long hair and the beard, like I said, he's retired. But they said he's not retired, because Daredevil's like, what are you down here plotting your next kill? He's like, yeah, I am. I even put on the subtitles because when he yelled, I did not understand what Frank was saying. But the subtitles said, yeah, he agreed that he was plotting a kill. So I'm not sure if that could even be the special, that whatever Frank's waiting on, that's how we get to. But I like that it was, he has some plan and he's going after somebody. It's not just he's hermited somewhere and like, oh, I'm not going to kill anybody. It's like, that's like, for me, Punisher's like, he's killing people till he's dead. So I like that they did establish he's not retired. He's just doing his own thing underground, I guess. I don't know what that is, but.
Well, he had like a full war board behind him with like
Oh,
people's
yeah.
photos and X'd out and everything. So and like he's all bloody even before Matt hit him. So like
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's doing some
He's working.
some punishing of his own, and he even
Yeah.
highlights that with talking about like hearing his boy and like even when he's quiet, nothing's going on. Like he hears his boy in his head, basically telling him to go out there and fuck
get
him
him,
up.
Daddy.
Yeah, go get him, daddy. And sounds weird when I say that, but
He
yeah.
literally said that, though. That's what he said.
Seems like he
his
just
dead
can't
kid
be
has seen
retired
him. Go get him,
because of
Daddy.
that dialogue, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Taylor, what did you think?
I mean, I think he's freaking fantastic, and I'm excited more so now than ever to get into the like his 2-season show and just see what he's up to in there. But yeah, he was definitely catching me off guard when Matt was going down below and just stumbled upon him, and he almost got his
get him,
head
Daddy.
Go get him, Daddy.
sliced off. But yeah, he's such an interesting character because at this stage of the game, like we've seen him bridge like a few little bit of connections to other characters, but I felt like his relationship with Matt was always, it was very conflicting and my only interaction between the two of them is with that season 2. I don't know if he appears in Defenders.
No, they don't. And that's
Okay.
one thing I was going to say, that they confirmed her in the show. They never confirmed that Punisher knows that Matt is Daredevil, but here they confirm that.
That was
And
my next question.
yeah, even in season 2, when you rewatch it, you can see Punisher like look at Matt a little bit differently, but they never outright say. It's kind of like the Aunt May Tobey Maguire thing of like, does she know, does she not? This full on, because even that preview, they didn't show that. They could have just been like, oh, it's Matt as the lawyer going to Frank asking him to do these terrible things, right? But no, he full on knew he was Red and Daredevil and all that stuff. So yeah, they never confirmed that. Now it's confirmed that he knows that Matt Murdock's Daredevil, which not that Frank really gives a shit. Like he's not going to go out there and poster it. Like Frank, again,
I feel like in my
clearly
memory
things-
he already knew that, so it's funny that I
Yeah.
just kind of assumed that.
Yeah,
after all
no,
these
because they never, because when he is arrested and the lawyer stuff happens, it's more Foggy and Karen that look after him because Frank or Matt's busy with the hand and Elektra, so they don't actually interact that much as like lawyer and Frank, like Matt and him.
Right.
It's more just that, but yeah, it's which I kind of like. I like that we didn't need some big scene or whatnot. It's like I could. Like Punisher should be smart enough to put 2 and 2 together, especially like Matt Murdock became his lawyer too, so he could have like heard a guy's voice, seen a little thing, and go, okay, like something's up with this blind lawyer. You know, he ain't who he says he is. So
Well said. I was trying to skim through and just see what was actually on the board behind Frank, but it's hard to see because the scene keeps focusing out off the board
Dr.
and focusing
Doom.
on him. Yeah, holy
yeah, I'm going to
shit!
kill somebody.
Robert
Yeah.
Downey Jr. with an
But like, it just looks like there's a bunch of people's faces with like
Scrawl
X's.
roadie.
Shout outs to Skrulls in this episode too, actually. But yeah, a lot of people just seem to have red X's on their faces, and there's like one person's body in like a bathtub, and yeah,
was
just
great.
the map
Geralt
where
is
he's got
a
like
photo, or there's just a bath.
it's a photo of a person.
Yeah, Matt's like, it fucking stinks in here. Oh, sorry. Just took out this mob boss. You want to see him? Yeah.
I'm sure someone will be able to like cross-reference the map of New York, but it looks like all the strings are pointing into like one specific location though that he's got
Aunt May's
on his
house.
board. Yeah.
He's looking for Spider-Man. So
And do we not think he's like his big person? He's trying to kill his kingpin here.
No, because I think as he's Mayor Fisk, he might let that kind of play out and see what's going to happen. It could be, but that's why I feel like it's going to be something to do with that special. Honestly, when they wrote the show, they probably had no idea. Maybe they didn't plant those seeds, but I think you'll get that answer. But maybe it could be Fisk. That would be like a fun reveal of it actually being Fisk, especially when we get to Fisk later. Seems like he's already Breaking Bad, or has, like, you know, was he ever really a good mayor? Who knows? That's the thing where maybe he is doing that. I don't know. Or I don't know. So maybe he's going after fucking Elnor, you know, from Hawkeye. I don't know. So
Or maybe this freaking blood guy, this blood bandit that we got.
Muse, yeah.
Yeah, Muse.
Yeah, I'll talk about him in a second. What was I gonna say? Yeah, the scene that got me was when Matt eventually did say Foggy, and he's just crying. You got the glasses going on, and then Punisher's not crying, but like he looks very emotional. Like he looks like it's his version of crying. Like Frank can't cry anymore, but he can just stoically look at you. And like I said, when he said like no matter we could live 10 lifetimes and never be as decent as Foggy Nelson, and when he leaves, and Punisher's like looking around everything, he kind of looks like that cast I was where it's like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like he looked like he questioned everything in that moment. Not that I think he's gonna retire, but I think he just again thinks he's doing the right thing, but then he thinks about it really. It's like, man, maybe I'm not, or if even if it's my version of the right thing, it's not overall the right thing that would get you in the pearly gates of heaven. So I just love that it end with him like walking around like, yeah, get the fuck out of here. Like he was like just shell shocked, and I love that. And again, this is why me and Emily had a good giggle because I've said this many times on the cast. I'm for the death penalty. She's not. She's maybe turned a little bit over time, but when Frank gave his whole speech of like, "Oh, I'm Bullseye. He's walking around. He's eating his slop. He's breathing the same air that you are," we just had a laugh because like that's the same. That's why I'm a big Punisher fan. It's like the same argument I have of like, yeah. Matt goes, oh, well, I got him for life. And he's like, for life? Like, what about Foggy Nelson's life? So it's the same thing. Like, sure, Bullseye's in a prison somewhere, but like, he gets to eat food. He gets to jack off. He gets to watch TV. He still gets to do all these things where it's like, Foggy's fucking dead, even though there's another hint that he might not be dead in this episode. But like, he's dead. So that's why, again, I'm a big Punisher guy because I'm for the DP all the way.
Careful, yeah, you know what comes with that. You got to get your family killed. And
no, I meant in the sense. No, I mean in the way like if I was on the BB Uric report, I wouldn't be like, oh fuck the Punisher. I'd be like, yeah, he's doing good work.
You got the Punisher tattoo on your neck too, like those cops.
No, I don't want to be like.
I feel like Mayor Fisk would be for the death penalty though, so maybe you'd be seen as like a Fisk boy if you were.
Yeah,
I
specifically say the Punisher death penalty, you know, but yeah, no, and even
the unhinged vigilante in the streets, you prefer that kind of death penalty.
Because he's look at that board. He's definitely doing his homework. You know, he's gonna go after the really bad guys.
Well,
that's one thing. He never killed anyone innocent in the show, so I trust Frank Castle. He knows what he's doing. You know, so
matter of perspective. But yeah, I mean, to your point too, like the fact that like him reconsidering like is what I'm doing the right way. It's like, okay, all these years later, now we're like 5, maybe he was snapped, so maybe he was gone for 5 years, but either way, it's like years and years of him doing this shit already. He's still doing it, and there still is seemingly just as many shitty people out there and so much like the same amount of injustice. So I'm sure that's like part of the reconsideration too of like, yeah, am I doing anything here? Am I making any difference? Or is my presence, especially now with the cop thing and like people following in that message and then like being even more radicalized, like is that making it worse in fact? And so I think once again, just the subtle acting from Bernthal to be able to portray that, even though he didn't really voice those thoughts, I think just once again shows like one, how well written the scene was, considering it's only like, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes long or something. Whatever it is, and then the fact that he can kind of pull that off without the dialogue is super strong. So really excited to see what they do with that character in the rest of this season.
Yeah, I know we got fucking Doomsday next year, but like, no pun intended, with a bullet, I feel like I'm more excited for the special than Doomsday right now. To see 52 to an hour 10 of Frank Castle doing whatever, and even in the interview, they're like, "Oh, what's the future after?" I was like, "Oh, I don't want to say anything, but you know, I'm happy with the route we're going." I hope people watch that special.
It's a secret. He's like hinting towards Secret Wars or something.
That'd be great. Oh man, get him next to Hugh Jackman. Fuck, I'm gonna be doing chills in the theater. But like I said, Marvel, I hope the special works and give me a nice 30 to 60 million rated R movie. Make a low budget Punisher movie, put in theaters, and just have people flock to like John Wick style, but with Frank Castle. Like, oh my god. So, anything else Punisher, Frank Castle related?
I think not.
Is he getting a haircut?
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime, because I think he's literally gonna put on the skull and bones just to. I don't think because he even says, "Where did that get me?" I think he doesn't feel like he needs to wear that, but I think, like I said a couple episodes ago, he's gonna feel like he has to take it back. So he doesn't need a spray painted jacket, but he's gonna do that to show people, like, okay, this is what the Punisher actually is. Who's like a fucking cop murderer and bad guy murderer, and then this is what the police should be. There should be a distinction. It should not be the same melding pot of cops and everything like that. Because same thing, I'm for the death penalty, but I'm not for the cops like going on like deciding their judge and jury, right? And I feel like Frank should do that. So my last point that I wanted to make about this was, so when he found the casing of the bullet, and then he's like walking him where he's going, and then obviously he puts it down and he's like, oh look, it looks like it's one of yours. So clearly Matt like felt the logo and knows where Frank is, which again it's funny because in the original series, even after Punisher got out, he was like, oh, you got to go back to prison. So Matt knows where he is, and he's not telling anybody to arrest Frank Castle. He's just letting Castle do his stuff. So that's
I
kind
was
of a
kind
change.
of confused, surprised by that he just knew
Yeah.
how to find him.
Yeah, so he clearly knows where he was, but before he threw down and showed the logo, hence my name, I thought he used his nose to find that. Like I
Well,
thought
he does that, right? Like he brings it up to his mouth, so I assumed he was sniffing it also.
So I'm
And
like, is he a
where's
dog
going?
that he
Yeah.
smelled the casing like all the way to the gun? I'm glad it was the logo because I'm like, that's a little too far fetched. Me like, his nose could get him miles away to find out.
It's a
Like,
blind thing, you know.
yeah, I'm like, he should become a cop. Like, who killed him? I don't know. Smell this knife, Matt. Like, oh yeah, it was definitely Vanessa. Like, she did. Like, he could find Adam. He could just smell Vanessa's clothes. Be like, oh yeah, I know where he's keeping your lover. But I got a good laugh at when it was.
Yeah, what I thought was happening was because earlier when he was talking to that dirty cop in the hallway and he got like a whiff of him at some point and then he had that whiff later, I thought that's what I thought was happening is that he's making the connection there. But I don't know if it's believable. Like the cop would smell like that bullet days later in like different outfit. I don't know.
Well,
Maybe he could smell it on his gun or something. I'm not sure.
or his fingers if he hasn't showered. Got a
well, it
little
also
gun
seemed like they
residue.
doubled down on it wasn't that cop, and he actually had no idea that happened.
Yeah, they
right?
did. That's what I thought because the
his
heartbeat.
He was
Yeah.
not lying. So, and again, we never got that answered yet. If that was a Fisk-oriented thing or just a cop-oriented thing, we don't know yet. Because this
Yeah.
episode, it wasn't like Fisk, like even to us, the viewers, showing off that he did that. Right? Also, we saw some dark stuff with him, but we didn't get that. And that's one thing I will say with the shooting of White Tiger and everything. My big complaint last week about Matt. I felt like they touched on it a little. Like I did want Dire Man to press Matt. I didn't feel he did bring it up of like, man, an innocent vigilante got killed. Like he said this to Frank, and no one cares. He did bring that up, but I felt like it was still very minor. And I'm not gonna say he didn't care. I liked that scene with the niece, but it was not as big of a deal as I wanted. So again, as much as I love this episode, I still was hoping there was more follow up because Matt did get him killed, and maybe that guilt will come later. So I'm waiting to see the rest of the series. But the follow up wasn't the greatest, other than I really like the niece, and hopefully she gets that amulet because obviously she becomes White Tiger later on. She killed it. That little actress there, fuck, what a good scene that was. I thought she was great.
pretty
So yeah.
There was one thing that she said that just seemed weird writing, where it was like, I can't remember what she said specifically, but it's like, you don't have to be good at math to figure that calculation. It was just a weird
1 plus
like,
1, easy
Yeah.
calculation.
yeah, it was just a weird phrase, but she delivered it well.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I forgot where I was going. Somebody
Talk
else
about White
take it.
Tiger, the niece, the cop, Matt.
Oh, actually,
guilt.
there you
Bullet.
go. Just talking about like the follow up from the death of the White Tiger from last week. I did actually like, and it's really really minor, but I at least like the dialogue between him and I forget her name, like his girlfriend, the therapist lady, of just like. Like this is like the first time where she's been like worried about him just being out, which of course if you're close to Matt, you just kind of have to expect to just be worried about him all the time. That we got that with Foggy and Karen in that show, but I mostly just liked how instead of it being like really accusatory and like where were like super aggressive, like he listed that like an innocent man was just murdered. Like he just like it just felt like he was really authentically decompressing to his significant other there, and it just felt really natural. And I don't know, we haven't had a lot of those two together, but I do like their chemistry, and it's it's a character that I wouldn't be too worried if we get more of her scenes, because I like her with Vanessa and Fisk. I think that she's it's minor, but I still like her in those scenes. And then here again with the Cox man, Matt. I like those two together. But yeah, no, I do agree though. I would have expected it to be a lot more of a significant reaction from Matt. And even when he's at the coroner's office, like he seems like he's pretty heated. Obviously, like he's pretty short with the guy. And then he's obviously like getting really intense with the young white tigress. I don't know if that's actually her name, but
No, she's just White Tiger, but
yeah, I
we'll
just
get
like
there.
that moment. It's like we have to believe that the bad guys are gonna get caught for this, and it's like he's telling that to himself more so than to her. And yeah, I don't know. It's just I would have expected more, because it just seemed like he had a lot of skin in the game with this whole Hector situation, because he is a vigilante. He knows what that's like, and he knows that he's innocent, all these things, and then this is what happened. So this is where I kind of would have expected him to just be lacing up the suit. Obviously, we got a little bit more in between. It took like a really powerful scene between him and Punisher for him to get there. But he's at least on the roof now. He's stretching out. He's getting his muscles ready to kick some ass.
I wonder if that's why we got the double next week, because I bet technically he does not put the costume on in episode 5, but I bet he does in 6. And I bet they're looking at this like, oh, everyone's going to expect Daredevil next week. They're going to be pissed if we don't give it to him, so let's put 5 and 6 together. That's my Travis told you prediction, that he'll not be fully suited next week. It'll be maybe on the brink, or maybe if he's fully suited, it's like literally like this, where it's like the last 5 seconds and he's in the costume. But I think that's why it's a double, because they know, okay, people, because it is like now we're going to episode 5 and he's still not been suited since that first 5 minutes. So luckily I think people are positive on the show, but I do think that was a maybe risky thing to do, especially because when you watch trailers and promos for the show, it's like him in the suit and the costume all the time. So I feel like you could lose a lot of people. You're now 3 weeks, but still 4 episodes in and he's not really suited up. I could see people being like, again, I don't want to watch, like even new people being like, oh, listen, Daredevil is just like a legal procedure, especially if you're not tied to the Netflix stuff. Like you might not care as much about Fisk or the Punisher stuff. So that's why I think the double's coming, because I think they probably knew we got to get him in this costume soon. So
especially because like She-Hulk and Echo already had him in there doing stuff, so it's like, okay, people will just want that right now. So
yeah.
Let's
take another break, and then we'll continue on. And we are back.
You mentioned the legal proceedings, and this episode had more of it than I would have expected. This is kind of what I was alluding to early on, of just the whole situation with this. I don't know if he's homeless. I'm going to assume that he's homeless.
He's
homeless. The guy that stole the boxes of whatever in the store. I really was expecting like a quick like tie to, I don't know, like this is more of like the police triggered corruption group, and it never ended up being that. And it ended up being like an interesting, at least, dialogue between Matt and the guy, and just like double downing on like how fucked up the system is, and like how it's just so easy for him to keep falling back into this situation of like going to jail, parole, like the system is just not set up for him to actually, what's the word I'm looking for? What prison should be for, where you're reformed,
Rehabilitated.
Rehabilitated. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like it's very much
they're just
not set up
churning him
that way.
out.
100%. Yeah, exactly. It's like it's basically like a money making scheme, just rotating them in. So I liked that dialogue portion of it, but it just seemed like we had like 15 minutes of like Matt talking to this guy, and then talking to the, I don't know what her position is, but he's just like trying to negotiate this guy to have like probation, and it just seemed like a pretty
time too.
Oh
like
yeah,
I
fuck you
fucking
eyes.
Loved that scene.
I
That was
did.
so
I did
fun.
love
Like
the scene also.
I love the ladies' man, Matt Murdock. It's so fun, and like he's just so wise. And that was funny. Like you're talking about how he wasn't seeming like thrown off by everything that happened last week. That's where I was like, oh yeah, he's still like in his peak mood here. Like he's still able to charm the pants off this woman. I really love that sequence.
Yeah. It was killer dialogue between those two, but like it just seemed like a big chunk of the episode where it's like, what are we doing here? like I feel like we have a lot of other plot points to be touching upon. So that's where I was a little bit worried. And again, that is in the early portion of the episode, so I was just feeling pretty negative early on. But
I'm thinking that Blood Guy Muse, I guess. I'm thinking that he will kidnap this guy, maybe.
That's a
And
good
so he'll
call.
come back, and that's where it's going to all connect together, and that's how like this guy could get involved with Matt, perhaps. But if not, if this is like a one and done thing here, I don't know. Like, maybe they're just like, okay, well, we need 10, 15 minutes of Matt in the courtroom doing Matt Murdock lawyer stuff, but like without it being some bigger plot line that like has to maintain. Let's just do this one thing, and then it also is a bit of a social commentary on top of that. But I'm kind of with you. I feel like if it doesn't build into anything, I don't know if we really needed it. I don't know if it was worth the amount of screen time that it had. I guess like it was fine, but I don't know. I guess I'll take it just for that like flirting scene because that was so fun. But
Yeah, that was
is
good.
that like a character also? Like,
I looked it up. It is, but it's like a very minor character. Like it's someone that actually worked for like T'Challa. Didn't have much affiliation with Matt Murdock. They were in Devil's Hell Kitchen. Like they've been saved by Luke Cage and stuff. I read. I'm like, hey, I've never seen this character, and it's like a newer character, but it is there. So I agree with you guys. I think for me, it's just I gotta wait to see the payoff because I think they already have so much going where obviously with the Fist stuff they're doing political stuff, and then the cop, like dirty cops, killer cops abusing law, etc. We've talked about that, right? So this is like a third addendum, like, hey, how does the system treat people lower on the totem pole that get arrested, especially for some of these smaller crimes? Like back in the day, lots of used to have people that would have weed, right? And people, that's why weed is legal. Weed is legal in a lot of places because it's like, should we be locking all these people up for how many amount of time for just getting a little high? For like, that's it. Not like impaired, anything. They just like saw him on the sidewalk getting high. It's like probably not, right? But I think that's where it does have to pay off, because if not, then it is kind of sometimes the worst form of art where it's just social commentary for the sake of social commentary. It's just like, let's make it this episode, let's focus on this. But it's like, to me, the Fist thing works because like that's your main one of your main bad guys, right? Same thing with the police stuff. That works because that's going to be a through line for the show. So I'm hoping that because those two other ones they have followed through, they will fall through this. But if not, that does just kind of feel like well, this week's issue is, and it's like, well, don't do that. That just feels like it's kind of like people assume or like say, oh, you're just like casting for diversity's sake or this, that. That's what that subplot could feel like if nothing pays off. It's just, okay, we get that. And I'm fine with that storyline, but then you should like do that in season 2 and make that the theme that year, of like him dealing with the lower class and everything. But I think Dylan's prediction of Muse, that could be a good one. Before we got a bigger storyline and they just were a homeless guy getting arrested, I was like, man, why couldn't that be Turk? But I don't, obviously Wintermore couldn't have been Turk, but it could have been. I really hope we get Turk. I feel like we're not, because I feel like there's still more Disneyisms. But at first, when I saw him like hooded, I was like, oh, could it be? And then I'm like, okay, no, that's not the Turk guy. But I'm still waiting for him. So
the other thing I wondered is like, okay, is this just a way for Matt to like meet a new girl and this is like a new love interest thing? But then it's like, oh no, he's pretty serious with the therapist. Like she's sleeping at his house. She has the keys clearly if she's going there on her own. So I think
she's at the end of the season, right?
Maybe that'd be kind of weird. Like, okay, in the middle of season 1, we're going to set up this one connection. Then we're not going to see her again until like season 2, like a year later when that, like, it would be a little far fetched. Like maybe, like, as you're saying, if she is an established character, maybe there is a plan, like a future plan there, but it would be, to me, it'd be weird to sprinkle this here. If it is just like a seemingly one-off scene, why would you do it like now? It seems like I feel like we're going to forget about that.
Some of these episodes are still the old guard when they were planning to shoot all those 18 episodes together. So that could have been the plan, where it's like, let's sprinkle this character in and then we come back to her later. Obviously, season 2, I think, I won't say completely changed, but that's like the new team.
But I also don't like, is Matt's girlfriend going to get killed by Fisk? And he's like, next episode, be like, okay, got to shack up with someone else.
Remember
that girl from the courtroom.
That guy was like giving her the abducting eyes, right, at the book signing. I'm assuming that's Muse.
Yes.
So
yes. So he already was asking for help, and I don't know if he did help her, because what happened was he asked for help, and then they did that scene where her assistant's like, oh, your client's here, and they kind of set up like it was the young guy, right? And then it was Fisk and Vanessa. So I don't know, did she take that client on, or did she brush him to the side because she's dealing with a billionaire? And yeah, so Taylor, when you're talking about there was that, but also the guy at the end of episode 1 that was spray painting the Fisk thing, that's Muse. He's a big spray painter and artist and everything like that. So in each episode, there's been signs of Muse around. So that's why I'm with Taylor, where I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for her to get the kebab. And especially if like they've already said Deborah Ann Wool's going to be back for more next year. So if they want him to be single, that could work, even if it's something to do with Fisk and Vanessa. Like I don't think she will, but I would not rule it out of the realm of possibility, because that Muse set up so early on, and he's a serial killer psychopath Muse. So could be a blood show.
Could be
I think Taylor. Oh, go on.
Last thing I'll say on just that flirtation scene in the in the courtroom. I had to rewind because he says like something about Latvia heritage.
I did too.
And then he's like, especially with the name Azola, and I'm like, Arnim Zola attachment? What the fuck? Is he Latvian? And it's like, no, her name is Ozola, like last name. So. And
it was Latvia, like our Latvia, not like Latveria. But I even
Latveria. I also heard that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm there trying to convince Emily, like it could be this, and then when we got the subtitles, like no, they just say Latvia. But I was like, well, like
maybe they
Doom is coming. Yeah, I mean, it's like Doom is coming, and like what's Sokovia? Like that's a made up place, right? In MCU, so it's like maybe they were going to start sprinkling like, hey, Latveria, it's a foreign country, and this and that. But
you guys are like me with Xavier's school.
100%, yeah. But it was just Latvia, unfortunately. Yeah. But Taylor, any thoughts on the caramel corn segment?
I really started to feel emotional and bad for this guy because I mean it's real life. It's hard to just catch a break, and the guy he was thrown in jail for 30 days and he missed his benefits signing and it fucked him over and all that stuff. Like it's not easy, and I really felt for Matt too, because Matt was like, he was giving him shit like, just take the 10 days, like it's fine, like this is the best you're gonna get, yada yada. And then finally when this guy started to really break down and like explain to Matt, and Matt's tonal just shifted completely to being just very sympathetic and understanding. And I think that's one of the key points for him too, where he's been trying, at least for Foggy's sake, to really believe in the system and really make the system work. And this is just another one of those triggering moments for him, just where he's realized, hey, the system doesn't work and I've got to go back to daredeviling. And so I think this had a lot of weight to it in his transition back to being that vigilante. So I really like the scene a lot. Just the way he's talking too, like he's just digging in dumpsters, getting garbage food, and all he wanted was just to eat a dessert and have something that tastes good. And it just they're spending more money to incarcerate him than to just let him have the box of cookies. And it's
popcorn. Yeah.
Is popcorn okay? Yeah, it's just so shitty. It's
I
just
said
such
it 3 times now. It's caramel popcorn.
Popcorn.
Caramel popcorn is disgusting, but I understand. So
Caramel popcorn is so fucking good. Oh.
I've come around a bit more on it when I'm older, but I remember as
You gotta
a
get
kid
the
getting
Chicago
that.
mix. You gotta get with the cheese.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Chicago mix is fine, but yeah, by itself, not so bueno. You know, not so bueno.
So bueno. So Taylor, what if that scene sequence is building towards something? What do you think that would be?
Like what's gonna happen to the criminal fellow?
Or was this
or...
it? Do we never see him again?
Yeah,
in
like
your
I guess
opinion?
do you think this was like a one-off scene just for the sake of like some social commentary and they have Matt in the courtroom doing some cool stuff, or do you think it's like either the girl, like she's gonna come back, or like this guy is gonna come back in some way?
I think the girl's gonna definitely come back because I feel like there was a
Okay.
little bit more pre-existing history there and a little bit more potential to explore that further. The guy, to me, his story just felt like, here it is. I need you to go in and do this freebie, and then his case is wrapped up. Don't even have to take it to court, and that just served as more fuel for Matt to kind of resume his being Daredevil. But with the girl, I mean, yeah.
Which, like, how can him being Daredevil help this guy, though?
It's not to help the guy, but it just makes him realize that you can't rely on the system, because what did the system
Okay.
do? Well, the system worked for the White Tiger. It ultimately, like, he just got killed at the end. So
Yeah.
what did that do, right?
Yeah, no, I like that explanation because I just was watching and it's like, how was Daredevil gonna like swoop down and be like, hey, like I know he took this popcorn, but like I got Muse right here, you should arrest him instead. And the cops will be like, oh, we'll take him, but they'll just execute Matt on the spot. Like I felt like this is a case that Matt
Like White Tiger.
yeah, like
First time back in the suit.
they bazooka him. But like that was the first time where I was like, Matt, Daredevil can't actually help this situation really at all here. Like Matt Murdock's more useful here, but yeah, good point of just the shitty shit and needs a break. And you know, White Tiger's gone. Frank's gonna sit in his little hut until whatever pops off on his radar. Who knows where Spider-Man is? Because apparently he's in New York, but I don't know. He's banging Jean Grey now, so whatever. Anything on Muse quickly because we talked about him. So before we go to Fisk and Kingpin and all that stuff. And
I mean, Saw 11's canceled. This seems like a little Saw type guy, so bring it on. I'll take it.
yeah. Only thing I'm interested in is he does have some sort of. I'll get the official powers that he has. He does have some powers in the comic books, but I don't know if they're gonna do that or if he's just gonna be like street
he's
level
just a-
weird thug.
I think he's a street level thug. for
That's
sure.
what I think too, which sucks because like his powers kind of like disrupt what Matt can do. Let's see.
Although like sucking the blood really seemed to like, he was like almost starting to go into a trance like state. So I don't know. Maybe he gets powered by blood.
So guess the first 3: superhuman strength, superhuman
Stamina.
speed, expert combat, and there's that.
Oh, expert
But
combat. Okay.
imperceptibility. Muse body acts like a hang on. Mew's body acts like a vortex, which can pull in every bit of sensory information around him, making even Daredevil's senses hard to target. And I remember because I have not read the most recent
love
Daredevil
that.
run, but when I fell off of Daredevil, it's this run that they're basing off of. And that was a cool thing with Mew's that, okay, Mac usually has the one up, but then when Mew's came in, it's like, fuck. Like, and Matt had a sidekick at this time who Mew's fucking blinded. So Mew's was like, he fucked Matt up real good. So I hope, especially because my only hope is they have talked like White Tiger's amulet, like in court. Matt's like he didn't have his powers, he didn't have his chain, right? So my hope would be like they're trying to say, hey, there's other heroes that Matt's interacted with that have like powers. The Defenders, he's fought the Hand. So I would love it if like he's fucking Muse up and then Muse hits him with his power, and it's like a fuck, what do I do? So I hope they do that, but I'm with you, Dylan. I think it's just
It could even be like a tech thing. Like I don't know if this is going to be a techie type guy, but maybe he has some device that I don't know somehow
yeah.
makes things
Stark
imperceptible.
tech.
But
Yeah.
it's funny, like that's such a specific power that it's like the
100%.
only way anyone would ever come up with that is like, okay, how could someone out Daredevil? Like I guess we'll come up with imperceptibility as his power.
Do you
so
think though
specific.
that could maybe in another New York hero? Do you think maybe Spider-Man senses couldn't go off against Muse? I don't think they found the comic book, so I could accept that maybe too, right?
I feel like the power levels are so different between those two that Spidey just is
just
fine.
destroys him. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm imagining his powers are similar to that of Calypso from Kraven the Hunter, where he just like disorientates his target. Something like
maybe.
that.
Maybe. You two got anything to say, Muse, Taylor, Kirkland?
Looks scary.
Okay, there you go. Excited. My
He's
prediction is I
imperceptible.
think he's going to be the real big bad, and they're going to save Fist. But I think that's what's going to happen. Is like Taylor talked about
Seems
the
like it.
arcs. I think you got the White Tiger arc, you got the Punisher Cobb arc, and then you're going to get the Muse arc, and then that's good because I love season 2. Season 2 has 3 arcs, so sounds good to me. And yeah, so we go to Fisk. He had lots of tasks to do, lots of visits with some children and some Latverian culture. He had some therapy going on, and then he had a little dinner to tend at the end. So, Kirkland, what do you think about Fist overall in this episode? Lots going on for the man. Busy guy. His schedule is fucking booked. You know,
Busy guy, absolutely. Yeah, I mean it's interesting because they throw him in many different situations in this episode, specifically this episode alone, where like you get the criminal aspect of him eating dinner with Adam, you get the trying to be a good husband to Vanessa, like therapy sequence, even like their follow up later on when they're having dinner together, him talking about his father. You get like a goofy Fisk too, like when what's his name, Daniel? Is that his name?
Daniel. Yeah.
It's so strange because what I would expect this to be like basically a Ben Urich execution scene when he like tells his whole staff to leave. Just Daniel and that lady insists to stay.
Because she thought Fist was going to kill him, I feel like.
Oh, yeah. 100%,
Yeah, that's the only
yeah.
reason she stayed.
And I feel like once upon a time he would have just fucking killed them both, like right there. Like he's just such a bad guy. Whereas here, it was just like a goofy scene where Daniel's like, "I'm so sorry." He just like keeps going off, and Fist just like doesn't really know what to say, and just like his body language, it seemed like it was just a goofy sequence. And I don't know how they were trying to direct him in that sense, but I don't know. I wasn't loving it, and it was just kind of like, oh yeah, this is really what I hate about this specific Fisk character. And I think it's just the trying to balancing between all of these different avenues instead of just having him be like the straight evil guy. I guess that's a little bit more like you have more depth with the character, I guess, if you show different sides. So that's an argument for it. But I just think for what we get with him, I'm just really not loving it. I feel like it's just going to be a long haul until the inevitable breakup of like him and Vanessa, and then like that'll just be like what happens to just turn him forever. But I don't know. Like and then they keep showing him just
it's
doing.
going to be a breakup, eh?
It'll be a Ben
Just like that?
Urikin, I think.
I think so. Though I think they foreshadowed it a little too hard when she said like, "Oh, he'll do many things, but he'll never hurt me." I was like, "Oh, that's you never say never in these shows," and I think that was the sign of like because they're emphasizing like Fisk would never lay his hands on Vanessa, and now I think he's gonna. Yeah, Ben Urich is gonna be watching down from heaven, coaching Vanessa through her terrible time.
So yeah, I think it's also just a matter of like my favorite version of the Kingpin. I'm now realizing going through the previous show, pretty much every appearance that he's been in now, and then this now, it's like just the fucking criminal guy, and I just want to see more of those scenes. And yeah, I'm really not liking just the Vanessa stuff between him. I will say the therapy scene, like this was my favorite one done so far between the two of them. I just think there was like not really tension, but still there was moments of tension, and I appreciated those sequences. But yeah, overall, not the biggest fan of Fisk.
Do you think the Fist that you're wanting, just that big old criminal, do you think there's a really good chance with season 2 you might finally get that with Vincent D'Onofrio here? Because I feel like that's where they're leading. Especially like, man, I love when those kids are singing. You see his hands. Like, I feel like there's 3 situations in this episode you see he is ready just to fucking pop. The singing, Daniel, and when she's giving him the schedule and why, like,
city.
well, let's just do this. Well, you got to do this first. Well, let's just do this. Well, you got to do that first. He was ready to just like Bane, Batman style. So I think I said that before. I think when Vanessa's gone, that is the true sign that there's nothing left other than like, I'm gonna fuck New York up every sideways, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I believe that's happening. So I think it's like inevitability, and it's just like, okay, let's just hurry up and get there. But I don't think that's like a popular opinion at all, and I don't think it's a better story to tell that my way. It's just that's kind of where I'm at, and I'm just gonna be trugging along. You know, it's nice that the whole episodes aren't just focusing on those two. You know, we're getting spread out, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah. I quite liked the therapy sequences in this episode. I just feel like it's fun to see. It's almost like a game of Avalon with these guys, or a game of Werewolf, where you have like them telling a lot, like especially Vanessa, like a lot of truths that she's saying, things that are making him clearly uncomfortable. But then there's other things that she still lies about, and he obviously doesn't tell the whole truth, and he's very reserved, but he still is like trying to do enough so that he can get the pass, you know, the therapy pass, whatever it is, or whatever, or maybe it's just to make Vanessa happy, whatever. But I think that sequence was really fun, especially when he's like, "So what happened to Adam?" We had a dialogue. Like I thought that was so funny. I was dying laughing with that. So yeah, I quite enjoyed that. And then I think especially like at the end when she said like, "Oh, he doesn't harm people though." Like obviously like there's still the protection layer of it. I guess I have questions with the Adam thing. I don't know if we're like it's too soon to jump to that, but I guess with like the Daniel stuff, I don't know where we're going with this. Like, are we trying to show off that Fisk has changed and he isn't just immediately going to kill any opposition? Like he lets Daniel live. He lets Adam live. Technically, I guess throws him in the cage instead of just straight up killing him.
You know, I think Adam would have rather seen the Punisher at this point.
That's the thing. It's like I don't know. We're seeing that, but like even in the scene with Daniel, he still like threatens the hell out of him. It's only with like the most devoted person who's like groveling at his feet that he's like, okay, I guess I'll spare this guy because he'll just be a pawn for me for like the rest of the time. So it's I feel like, are you trying to make it so he's like I have more empathy towards him? That's not working at all. So if not, then like, why did we do this? Like I already believed that Daniel was fully invested in this guy and was not going to turn against him under any circumstance. So I guess I just don't know what we're building towards. And like the actual mayor stuff of him making moves in the city and like, you know, trying to skip through the red tape. I just find it like kind of boring and by the numbers, like there's not really anything interesting happening there. So those sequences are the boring stuff, but I like the therapy sequence in here for Fisk. So getting some good stuff, but it's definitely been a mixed bag these last couple episodes for me.
I think the red tape is just another one. He's just going to get fed up, and that's what's going to get him back to Kingpin. Instead of like waiting for X, Y, and Z, he's just going to do it, and that's how we'll get there. I think the Daniel thing to me was a juxtaposition of Vanessa, because their therapy session, they'd had multiple therapy sessions, but this was the first time where she'd say, "Oh, his hands and the way he touched me," like she's just fucking grilling Fisk while he's right there, but. They had a therapy session, running up my legs. But they, like,
his beautiful skills, his beautiful art skills. Yeah.
He's like finding clay in a garage sale. I'm like, I'm sure you can find clay in a garage sale, but like, to me, that was the first time they talked about the affair, right? So you have him with her, and their whole conversation is about her not being loyal to him, and his whole conversation with Daniel is about him being loyal to Fisk. So I think that's why it's going to be another thing where Fisk is just going to view Vanessa as she's no longer loyal to him and she needs to go. And that's where it's going to be like, why is he going to keep this little dweeb over Vanessa? Because this little dweeb will kill himself to save Fisk, where he even said that to Vanessa. He's like, oh, it's impressive. Like, you're not the same woman I fell in love with. So, like, he respects her for that. But I think when he goes back to criminal Fisk, he's not going to want that. He's going to want the person that is completely loyal to him and not going to question him, not going to say, oh, should you do it this way? So I think that's what they're trying to do with the Daniels, showing, hey, look, when people are completely kissing his feet, he's going to spare them. Even if he threatens them, he's going to spare them. Where Vanessa, like in the way she talked about Annie, that was, or Adam, fuck, it was like, to me, felt like very disrespectful in front of another person, like talk about his hands and the way he touched, like, you don't have to talk about an affair like that. Like, that felt like she was kind of rubbing it in his face a little bit. And she didn't seem like she regretted it. She doesn't regret it. I don't view she regrets that at all. So, and my other thing in that session I really love, when I can't remember the line that set them up, but the therapist is like, oh, like political, and they both on cue, so business, like, because they don't want to talk about like what they do and they just use it as business. Some very good comedic moments there. But yeah, I think this episode is just to show that Fisk is going to only choose those people that are loyal. And even the lady that is, the way she said that of like, oh, Fisk, you know, you'll be gone, Fisk will be on, I'm still here. To me, that was another foreshadowing of like, oh, you're going to be gone. Like, Daniel's going to get her job, I think. So by season 2, it's going to be Fisk is gone, or not Fisk, Vanessa's gone, and now Daniel's like the head running thing, who's already like kind of like a shady individual. So, which I all like stuff, you know, and therapy stuff was good. And yeah, Adam, that was fantastic. He's got the painting up there from that he bought from Vanessa, and that has Bullseye's blood all over it. So he's still got this painting. And to me, that revealed like maybe there was like a day where he felt he could do good, but he never really was ever gonna be good. Like, from first episode, he had those bloody fists, and he's had Adam this whole time, which is like, what's he doing to Adam? You know, so he never was gonna turn a leaf. You know, just like Matt, I guess. So
Yeah. The Adam thing seemed out of character for me to keep this prisoner. Also, it's like a massive risk. Do you guys think that Vanessa knows that Adam is in there?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But it seems like, I don't know where this prison is, but like, it seems like a very huge risk for him to keep this guy. It also doesn't seem like, I feel like he's just such a rage kind of guy that he would just kill Adam given the opportunity, which he clearly has at this point. So to me, like, the only reason it feels like it exists is, I guess, two reasons. One, it could be that Vanessa finds this prison and then like freaks out, and that leads to some issues, or it's like a way to get him down later. Like, I don't know, Matt can find that and prove that to the cops or something, and then like, I guess Fisk would get arrested because he literally has like a prisoner in his house or something like that. So to me, it didn't actually feel like it fit the character. It just felt like it was there to serve one of these plot points that's going to come up later. So I don't know, we'll see what happens with it. Like, I don't know if we're going to get a scene of like Joe from You just going down to his prison to like talk to his prisoner every day, and we get that dynamic. I'm not sure if that's what we're getting with Adam, but to me it seemed a little out of character. I know it sounds weird to say that because he's still like harboring this prisoner in his house, which is like a very evil thing to do, but it just, I just feel like he would have killed him. That's the Kingpin I know.
Yeah, I agree with the first assessment. I think it's for Vanessa to play a part and find and whatnot. I think it's just for that MacGuffin, and that kind of will be, maybe he kind of
like,
uses his, you know.
Even when she's in the therapy session, like, I don't know what happened to him. Like, you don't think Fisk had something to do with it? Like, she has to at least know that, right?
Yeah.
So does she just
so.
assume that he killed him, and maybe that's like better than like keeping him a prisoner? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, remains to be seen, I guess.
I think it's strange that she hasn't like confronted about that, because like you just said, like, yeah, there's no way that she wouldn't have suspicions that Fisk is the one, you know, directly or indirectly, that caused him to disappear. I mean, technically she told him not to kill him, and he didn't do that, so I guess he's in a way, you know, fulfilling that promise.
I didn't
Did you say
lie.
don't kill him or don't hurt him? I can't remember.
I think it's don't kill him. Please don't kill him. I'll pull up the episode and double check.
Then maybe that's why he is alive. Maybe that's
Make sure he has his hands still.
yeah, I need those hands. Yeah. No, maybe that's a reason. So
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I liked how fucked up it was, and I'm like, damn, okay, yeah, this is the Kingpin that I should be fearing and appreciate.
Yeah,
more
that's
so
like his
than the one in
television
the
like
classroom.
entertainment program is like going
Yeah.
to eat dinner while he watches his
it
prisoner.
might be. Yeah. Taylor,
And
what
then
are
in the
your
same
thoughts?
episode, you have that, and then him getting "We Built This City" by a bunch of school graders. You know,
And then the
so-
Latverians later. Remember, they were singing the same
Oh
song.
my god, he was seething.
It's like, fuck.
When he looked over, just like, oh my god!
Yeah.
Again, like he has a whole career. Go back to Men in Black, but like Vincent D'Onofrio, such a talented act. Just those little facials, like fantastic comedic like timing presence. Like he makes this very serious guy who could just pop your head melon, like make you chuckle. And even when he's like, the teacher's like, oh, we got one more. Oh no, that's good. And he's putting on the jacket like really fast. He's trying to get out of there. Like, yeah, great stuff by Vincent there. So, Taylor, what are your thoughts on Fisk, Adam, Vanessa, all that jazz?
Yeah, it took me a second with Adam because I thought, is that Daniel in there? And he's just super fucking pissed off at him. But no, that is
Grew all this hair out and
Yeah.
He screwed up again. I did not think it was, but for a split second, like 0.5 seconds, like fuck, what if that's Foggy? It wasn't, but I thought for a second, like man, wouldn't that be a thing? Cause same thing, like to Matt, he said he never kills friends, but like imagine, like yeah, I didn't kill Foggy, because that was the other thing before you go Taylor. When Foggy got killed, he mentioned he was working on a case that had to do with Red Hook. Each episode, there's been a Red Hook mention, and in this episode again, when they have that little table there, they're talking. That is the Red Hook thing. As we talked about last week, there is a storyline where Foggy fakes his death to become an informant. So that those people that have that Red Hook theory, it keeps popping up. I don't.
Okay.
Even after the Punisher stuff, I kind of want Foggy to stay dead because I feel like you lose some of that meaning. But like, there is some signs for the Foggy deniers. So
Let's see it. Come back, Foggy. Come back.
you
to
want
me.
it? You want him back? Oh right, he
I
was
want
your
him back.
favorite of the show, right? I
My
forgot about
favorite.
that.
Yeah, come back to me.
Yeah.
Because then when he comes back, then he can bring Karen back, and then we're all back.
well,
to
she's
the
chilling
OG3.
in San Fran, right?
Yeah, she's alive.
She's
yeah.
chilling, but she'll
And
come
she's-
back when Foggy's back.
She's come back for season 2. They're filming right now. There's pictures of her on set, so sounds like she's gonna have a bigger role next year. Thank God.
Oh,
so
good.
It's hard to have a smaller
Um,
role than this.
yeah, it's
so.
true.
Yeah, so with Mr. Fisk, he's those scenes and everything when he's trying to be
Mr. Me.
doing the mayor stuff, it's great. I think he's fantastic at that. And yeah, I think him wanting to do all the stuff with the docks and just make it into a place of industry in New York and all that jazz. And I imagine that there's probably a lot of reality surrounding it when Sheila's like, oh, you need to submit this. You need to pitch it to council, and then we'll do a survey, and then we'll get people's thoughts. But before you pitch it to council, you got to go get like a public opinion something or whatever. It's like, fuck. Is this why I haven't bought a house yet here? Because all these fucking like, public approval. Da, 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 da. It's like, Jesus, fuck, my God, this is bullshit. Anyways, I feel for Fisk in this. I really do. He's a man who doesn't like red tape. All he's done so far is fill a hole. That's it. So
Not the whole he wants.
Which was
Not
so
the whole he
fucking
wants,
lucky
yeah.
that everyone was there ready to go in that scene.
Yeah.
But we were
That's
talking
right.
about that. So.
Just do it. I bypass it. Do it.
But yeah, I just think that he's gonna crack. He's absolutely gonna crack because he's not cut for this kind of life where you're just sitting patient and just letting all this stuff kind of unwind. And he's like, why do I care about the Latvians or whatever? It's like, well, they're like 19% of your vote or whatever. It's like,
He has no idea.
he doesn't
He's
care.
Like,
No, he doesn't
Like
no
19%
idea. He
is a
doesn't
good
care.
that's a good chunk. You'd want to keep those people happy. I
He's
feel.
just thinking about
you
his
know?
meal he's gonna have with Adam later.
Oh, and that was it's so funny the times he's ate with Vanessa. It's like this like little egg omelet thing, little
Yeah.
fish. With him, this big fucking like get me the extra large double sausage fest. Like I don't know why.
Like a
Maybe he
cheat
knows.
meal. He has high cholesterol. Vanessa's
100%.
on a guarded diet. You can
Or it's like,
just
does he know that's like
feast
Adam's
the
favorite
enemy.
meal or something? He's just eating it in front of him. I don't know. So
I definitely would love Fisk to make me a meal. I think he
would you? Yeah, he cooks a
I
lot.
don't think he knows how
forgot,
to
yeah.
cook. Does he cook?
Yeah,
He
he's
cooks a
always
lot.
cooking in the original series.
Block that out of my brain. I don't remember. any
Okay.
of that.
Oh yeah,
I think
he's
you should
cooking. He's cooking.
rewatch it. Start over.
I'll
and,
rewatch it.
put Defenders
Before
in this
season
time.
2 of,
Listen back to
then
your
I'll do
review.
another retro.
Yeah, the retro.
I imagine every time Vanessa mentions hands, he's like, all right, I'm gonna see Adam
my
tonight. Just
God.
kicks the shit out of him. Your fucking hands. Or maybe
He's
he'll
gonna cut
break
those
them.
hands off and like have them put them in a plaque or something.
Something like that. Yeah. But yeah, I think Vanessa dying. I think that's a possibility or some fluke or whatever. I don't know. Maybe she'll fall in front of a subway train when Fisk is like, I don't know, Fisk is doing something. I think it'll be an accidental death where Fisk is 100% to blame though.
So not accidental.
Yeah, that's not accidental. like her falling off the
It's like
tracks.
when I'm
and
playing
him-
Hitman and I drop a chandelier on someone.
I think-
that was no accident.
I think like they could be like here's some context. So they're on the train platform of the subway,
Yes.
and Vanessa's like, "You fucking locked up Andy," and he's like, "Yeah," and then he just turns and backhands her, not intending to kill her, but then she's so
mean Sam?
frail, she flies 30 feet
She's
off right in front
so
of the train.
frail. You talk about her like she's Betty White 99. Like she's so, like she's a grown woman who like looks great. So, like I don't think I look at this actress and go, oh, that's a frail actress. You know, like I know he's bigger, but like he's not as big as he used to be.
I think Kingpin backhands you, you're immediately frail. I think.
I hope when he backhands her, she says like, yeah, still not as good as Adam's hands though, and then like you motherfucker like says something about it. But I think that would be Fisk's fault. I don't think we're getting that scenario that they're painting out that he backhands her on the train. Plus, we also just lost a cop to a train. I don't like is everyone
They're
gonna die
going
from
back.
trains? Yeah,
Same
Muse is gonna die
platform
from a
and
train. Yeah, Frank's gonna tie up all the cops and put them on the train tracks. Like all the major deaths happen.
Limited
Fuck.
budget, everyone's dying in the same set. We got to make use of it.
Why'd you guys spend $1 million on a train set? Well, we got lots of plans.
We
for
made
this
it worth it. Yeah,
That's the Lego
juice
set,
that train.
which is fitting because Daredevil does kill a criminal in the original movie with a train. He kicks him off, and he's like, "You see those white lights? It's not heaven. That's
Ben
a sea
Affleck
train."
does that?
Yeah, that's a sea train. And he, oh god, and he gets ran over. Yeah,
Was he supposed to be a murderer in that movie?
That's the arc of that movie. Is he stops being a murderer.
Oh, of
Yeah,
course.
we did retro that movie, you, me, and Dylan, but it sounds like we have to retro it again at some point.
Did we really?
So
You can
Yeah,
slot
back
that
in
in
the
with my
custody
re-re
room.
retro.
Holy shit.
bullseye.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe there'll be a patrons movie night because that'd be a fun one. But anything else? Actually, I'll look at my notes just to make sure. But anything else we missed?
Not me.
Looks good.
Yeah, we juiced it.
Oh god, what is? Yeah, okay. I talked about the foggy thing. Daniel. I really like the score during the Punisher and Matt conversation. And no, that's all I had. So we'll be back next week for a juicy double episode. I think we're getting Matt wearing those horns. We'll get some action, see what happens, see who dies from a train. Let us know. You can join the Discord we have at Daredevil channel. Let us know your thoughts, theories, everything. You think Foggy's alive? Do you think Fisk's going to backhand somebody? Do you think, not much BB in this episode? When's she going to pop up again? Who knows? But when we talk about it, it'll not be boring.
Bye.
See you later.